With this election upon us, we need to face something that is breaking down the fabric of society. And that something is division. Because every single day we are fed a series of lies. And those lies, they're designed to tear us apart. They're designed to continuously keep us at odds with each other. And in the midst of all of the passion, it's easy for us to forget that the sun is still going to rise in the east and it's going to set in the west. The spinning rock that we're all on is going to continue to turn. No matter what political party or what side you're on, there's nothing that we can do to change that. We can't change those outcomes. We might believe that one candidate is better than the other, that one candidate is going to help our lives more than the other. And even if that may be so, the only people that are truly in control of our own lives is us. Because these politicians or these certain leaders, social media, all of it contributes to this division. And with this election, tensions are probably going to do nothing but rise. And this division is only going to get worse if we allow it. Welcome back to another episode of Sweat Talk. My name is Chad. And right now we see people retreating to their sides. And this goes for all of our beliefs. This isn't just the election. Right now it's especially real because people are digging in their heels and they are refusing, or they are going to refuse, to listen to anybody that disagrees. We need to realize that this division did not just happen overnight. This division has been carefully and methodically crafted and constantly fed to us in subtle ways. We've all heard that analogy, I'm sure, that if you put a frog in boiling hot water, he's going to jump out. But if you put a frog in room temperature water and slowly turn up the temperature, the frog will become comfortable until eventually the water boils and the frog gets cooked. And that applies absolutely perfect to the lies, the deception, the manipulation, the propaganda that we've been fed over the last several years. Because we are constantly being told who to fear, who's to blame, and what we should all think. And this manipulation is so powerful because it's rooted in the things that we believe. It's rooted in the things we care about, like our families and our communities, our religions. So it truly is no wonder why so many people don't recognize this manipulation, and they simply don't see it for what it is. Because we think that we're fighting for our own beliefs, when in reality we're nothing more than pawns in a much larger game. We're being trained to focus on differences rather than our own similarities. Every day we're being exposed to images and messages that play into this. They play into our emotions, and all that does is stir up more anger, fear, and division. I mean, just look at the headlines and think about it. How many times have you seen a headline that you know or you can tell, or that looks like it's designed to stir up anger, fear, or frustration? If it bleeds, it leads. Or even look at a social media post that's clearly designed to dismiss or even hate somebody that you disagree with. Because the reality is these messages, they are there for a reason. And that reason has absolutely nothing to do with helping us better our lives. This division is a tool, and that tool is being used to distract us and divide us. It's being used to control us. Because when we're busy arguing with each other, we're not questioning the system that's in place. We're not asking or questioning who benefits from this division. We're not asking why things are the way that they are. But instead we convince ourselves, or we become convinced, that the other side is our enemy. And we focus all of our energy on proving somebody else wrong and trying to win rather than looking at the big picture. The picture that is standing right in front of our own faces. Think about how much time and energy you have wasted on this, just this. How much energy have you thrown in the toilet, wasted away on trying to win some debate with a stranger on a Facebook post, or trying to win that argument and defending your point of view at all cost? And what if I told you that this us versus them mentality is exactly what keeps us from seeing the truth. And by staying locked in these divisions, we're kept from recognizing our shared ground with the rest of humanity. And that will prevent us from making real, lasting, meaningful change in the world. It's especially damaging when somebody becomes so entrenched in their beliefs that they cannot hear or understand another person's perspective. They feel that they have to change your mind or change you. They're not happy enough with them and their own beliefs. They think that everybody has to agree with them. That rigidity, it doesn't make anybody feel happier or more fulfilled. Instead, it isolates us more, leaving us feeling more anxious and ultimately more defensive. We begin to see people with different points of views as a threat instead of seeing other people with their own views and stories and their own experiences. And the more divided we become, the more difficult it's going to become to bridge those gaps. But here's the thing, man. We are all entitled to our own opinions and our own perspectives. And each one of us has the right to have our own beliefs. And we should all have the freedom to express those beliefs without fear. Yet somehow we've managed to get to a point where we see somebody who has a differing opinion as an attack. We've lost that ability to respectfully disagree. We've lost the ability to hold space for views that might challenge our opinion or our perspective. And that is an incredibly dangerous place to be. And you might even ask, why does it matter if we're divided? Or why should I care what somebody else on the other side thinks? And in this situation, it does matter what somebody else thinks. And that's because division, being divided, it does nothing but weaken all of us. It keeps us focused on small battles rather than the big picture and the big things that actually affect all of us. Because when we are divided, we are easier to control. We're being distracted from the things that really matter, from injustices and inequities, the things that need fixing in our world. And if we are serious about ending this, we need to start with awareness. This video will probably piss off the YouTube lords or the ones that think that they are gods, because this isn't the information that they want put out. They don't want us to recognize that we are being manipulated. Every time you see a headline that you feel is designed to spark outrage, you need to ask why. What is being hidden? Ask who in the hell benefits from your anger? Who benefits from you seeing your neighbor or strangers or maybe even family as your enemy? Because this division is profitable. And as long as we are divided, we're playing right into that system. And in order for us to break free, we need to first be able to recognize or develop a certain level of self-awareness that allows us to recognize our own bias. Because every one of us has beliefs that are shaped by our own backgrounds or our upbringings or our environment. And there's no shame in that. It's human nature. We need to be able to look at ourselves and honestly acknowledge that we don't have all of the answers, because none of us do. And just because we feel that we see the big picture or we feel strongly about something, that doesn't mean that we are seeing the full picture. We might feel that we are seeing the full picture, but our emotions, the anger, the frustration, all of those emotions are going to cloud our judgment. And that can make us feel justified in shutting down anybody that disagrees with us. And that's exactly what this system of division wants us to do. It wants to keep us, or it wants us to stay it wants to keep us so locked into our perspective that we don't see another person's. And one way to counteract this is to see other people's perspectives. Try to feel and experience somebody else's perspective. Try to appreciate somebody else's perspective instead of only consuming what reinforces your bias or your beliefs. Make a commitment to understand somebody else's beliefs or their perspective. Try to see things from another person's point of view. And this doesn't mean that you have to agree with them, but it does mean that you are open to understanding. Because when we approach conversations with curiosity rather than defensiveness, we create that room for understanding. Another crucial step would be to guard our minds from that manipulation. Social media, for example, is an absolute breeding ground for this division, because these algorithms, they are prioritizing the content that sparks our engagement, which often means amplifying and polarizing voices. And we don't have to let these platforms control how we think and feel, because we can take breaks. We can choose who we follow, and we can be mindful of how certain content makes us feel. If something is making you angry or fearful, take a step back, turn that shit off, and take a break from it. At least take a break from it. And when you do that, when you take that step back, ask yourself why. Why is this content affecting me the way that it is? Unity does not mean uniformity. It doesn't mean that we all have to agree on anything, but it does mean that we choose to see the humanity in each other, to respect each other, and respect the fact that we all have our own beliefs. And this division, it tells us that there's no room for disagreement. We have to pick a side, and there's no room for nuance or empathy. But that's complete bullshit, because we have the choice to bridge that gap and reach across that divide and see each other as human beings first and foremost. And one way to practice this is by engaging in meaningful conversations with people who might see the world in a different view. You might find it uncomfortable at first, but once you figure it out, it can be extremely rewarding. These conversations, they don't have to be debates. They don't have to end in agreement, but they should be grounded in respect, in a shared understanding that we are all here trying to make sense of this complicated world. We can also make the conscious decision to reject these divisive or division narratives that we are exposed to every single day. When you see something that's trying to cause negativity or trying to pit others against each other, begin to question it. And when you question it, ask yourself what's really going on beneath the surface. Because that division, it's rooted in fear and insecurity. When we understand that, we can respond with compassion and generosity instead. So here's a challenge for you. The next time you feel yourself divided from somebody, take a moment and just pause and try to reflect on where that person's feelings are coming from. And when I say those feelings, I mean your feelings. And ask yourself if those feelings, if they're truly your own, or if maybe they've been planted there by a narrative from that division, then choose to rise above it. Choose connection over conflict and understanding over judgment. Because you have to remember that these lies that divide us are only as strong as we allow them to be. Because when we realize that division is a choice, we can take back that power. We can choose empathy and respect. We can choose the change that we want to see in the world. So if you made it this far, do me a favor and go down in that comments section and write the word unity. Just that one word, unity. Let's unite. Let's quit this freaking division. Because we're going to see the people in the comments section in the future who are going to choose the division. We need to make sure that we can create that unity to outweigh that division. When we unite, we all win. I want to thank all of you guys for showing up. I want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank you for looking beyond those lies. Let's choose to see each other's humanity and value another person's perspective and begin to work towards a world where division doesn't define us. I want to thank all of you guys for showing up. I hope you're showing up for yourselves. I want to thank all of you guys for all the generosity and kindness that you have given me. And I am grateful that I'm able to create this community of unity where such a large group of like-minded people can get together and unite. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for everything that you guys do for me. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Peace.